The 799th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cash back rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and you use promo code SGPN.
Hello, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 799 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We're dedicated to a longtime listener, a day one listener, Jong, our friend Jong, aka the Hunger Man Jong, superfan Jong. He's always given me props for recognizing flags properly and pronouncing names properly. So,
well, that's because you messed up Romania so many times.
I know. But he and for knowing South Korean names properly. So because he's of Korean descendant. So yes, this goes out to you, Mr. Jong Lee, and all the rest of you people can watch and or listen as well. This is our LFA episode. LFA's got an event with a lot of names on it you're going to recognize because I recognize
a lot of faves.
I am a casual. The voice you just heard. Oh, who am I? I am the ass grinding machine. Makes me laugh even. The other name, the other voice you're hearing is the Gumby Vreeland, aka Daniel Vreeland, aka Danny V. These are not casuals, damn. He's not a casual. He knows about all these people. So LFA 206 is what we're talking about. It's going down from one of our favorite venues as well, the Mystic Lake Casino. It's going down Friday, same time as PFL, sadly. So multi-screen night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So let's bring in Daniel Vreeland. He said he's going to fade a bunch of people. Do you like this fight card, Gumby?
No, I said a bunch of faves.
Oh, faves. I'm sorry. Good.
Yeah,
good.
faves.
Yeah, there are a bunch of faves.
I mean, like, we got pretty much the whole bodega fighting, which is a lot of fun. That's officially their fight team name, I guess.
Okay, they changed it to the
bodega, okay. I think.
Yeah. That would be so all the big boys.
Yeah, and there's an Ami who's fighting you too. Okay. Enya Gomez. Am I getting that name right? Damn, I don't know him as well as Guzzi in Asplund. But like, yeah, there's one more on the prelims that's an amateur who's getting in there too and mixing it up. So,
yeah, heavyweights. He's
and they're all big. Them and Thomas Peterson, all the four of them train together. And then I think Thomas Peterson's brother stops by sometimes too. So it's like 5 big, huge dudes in there. So love it.
Not just heavyweights. These are chunky boys. Our favorite kind.
Well, it used to be.
One of them is like, a lot less.
Yeah, one of them used to be like 350 or something like that, and now he's like not even hitting the heavyweight max. And like Guzzi is getting cut too. Nice. I saw some pictures of him that he posted on Instagram, and I think there's some outlines of some abs on there. And they're getting fit over there in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's when I was watching the UFC. I'm not going to name anyone, but I get annoyed when they're still
Martin Boudet. It was Martin Boudet.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning any names, but like you're at the very top level, the elite, supposedly the elite of the elite in the sport. Like, get in shape. These people. There's still UFC should not be full of big fat fighters still, but there is. I guess
some of them are good though. Is the problem?
Yeah, that's true.
The biggest problem because
they probably think if they lose weight, they won't be good. I'm sure there's that thought as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just get super buff and like fit.
Yeah. Look what happened with Jared Cannonier. Obviously the crystals helped as well, but him losing weight was like he was a middling heavyweight, and then he became a title contender at middleweight. So
yeah, he's still causing problems at what is he, 40 years old?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Augusta is right around the corner, and SGPN is back with Splash Sports for a big contest. Up to $30,000 in prizes and only $25 entry fee. Get in today at splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. And tune into the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Small Show, and Bottom Line Bombs for all your Masters picks. And check sportsgamblingpodcast.com because I am going to have daily picks up there as well. So I've been told. I will. Don't worry. And I will come through for you people. I am multi-sport talented. All right. LFA time. No odds yet for the event. We're always ahead of the curve a little bit with LFA. They want to see what Gumby picks before they make picks, but they'll probably drop maybe tomorrow.
Probably right around when this drops. To be honest. Tuesday night, like LFA, Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday.
All right, cool. We are starting off with a favorite of our show. He at least tunes in when we speak about him. So hi, Mr. Stephen Asplund.
What's up, Stephen?
He's fighting Raiden Kovacs, who I've not heard of before. Maybe he watches too, for all I know. They are heavyweights. They are fighting 3 5-minute rounds. We're going to tell you about Kovacs first. He's 3-2 with 3 knockouts. He's been knocked out twice, so he owes his rounds. By my math, this is his LFA debut. He's won 3 straight fights after dropping his first 2 pro fights. He went 0-1 in PFL. He's got an inch of height over Asplund, 4 inches of reach. Concrete Asplund, because he is a concrete worker, just like his pops. 4-1. Does he still work concrete or not?
I think so. I think he's still doing a little of that on the side.
He is 4-1 with 3 knockouts. He's been submitted once. 3-1 in LFA. He won via TKO in his last fight. He's 2 years younger than Kovacs.
Yeah, I'm going Asplund here. I think his odds are going to be in the 400s. Kovacs has won 3 in a row, and this is like a nice step up for Asplund. In fact, they actually share a loss. They both lost to Denzel Freeman, who's now the LFA champion. Kovacs lost to him when he was in PFL. He got head kicked by him really violently. Asplund lost to him in a sort of gritty wrestling match, which is not Asplund's style of fighting. But luckily for Asplund in this one, like, Kovacs doesn't want to wrestle either. He wants to strike. And like, maybe the worst part about Kovacs, if I had to pick a single thing, is like he's not, you're just talking about guys not being in shape to fight. And you're like, Asplund is in really exceptional shape. Like, his cardio is one of the best you're going to see for regional heavyweights out there. Like, the way he puts a pace on people and wears them out, he could wear anybody out with that kind of cardio and with that kind of pace and with that kind of output. And Kovacs is just like kind of a sloppier guy who's like, fine being a little bit extra big, trying to throw his weight around in the clinch. He tries to throw bigger punches, with his whole body. He's just going to get picked apart by Asplund. Asplund is going to hit him with, like, I would, I know LFA doesn't come out with strike numbers, but if they did and it was on,
you need a smart cage.
If it was on Underdog Fantasy, I would take the higher than on Stephen Asplund to land 100 strikes in this fight. Like, I really do think he will land 100 significant strikes here on Raiden Kovacs. Just piece him up, break his nose. I think in his last fight,
he's going to break his nose too?
Yeah.
Easy there.
Definitely. I think in his last fight, I predicted that Stephen Asplund would win by standing TKO, and
you did.
Yeah, and he gave me props for that too. Shout out to Stephen. I think he'll knock him down in this one. I think this will give you a more traditional TKO. I think he'll land enough, tire out Kovacs enough that he'll fall down and he'll get the GNP finish here.
And obviously, Gumby knows how. He doesn't just know. I think you're commanding him. You tell him in advance, here's how you're going to win, and then he goes and does it.
I don't think he knew that I predicted the standing one until he had already done it. Like, he went back and watched. Yeah.
Nice.
Made sure I was still backing him.
Yep. We definitely are. Don't worry. How much weight is he lost? What we show he's
I don't know.
Plus, right?
He's super fit, and it's like unassuming because, like, he's still kind of got like the skin from when he was a big guy. And so like, people don't even realize how like jacked and strong and fast he is. Yep. But like, I mean, again, better cardio than literally every regional heavyweight you can find.
Yep. Good story. Hopefully onwards and upwards for Mr. Asplund. All right. We are moving to another guy we spoke of before, Joey the Hitman Hart. I think we talked about him a couple times. He is fighting in a welterweight belt against Omoyele Gonzalez. Omoyele Gonzalez. Is that right?
I think it's Omoyele. Yeah.
Omoyele. Yeah. They're both Americans, United States people. They both fight at 170. Gonzalez is kill switch, 5-3 with 1 knockout. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice, so finished in both his losses. 0-1 in LFA. He's won 2 straight and gone 2-2 over his last 4, 3-3 over his last 6. All right. The Hitman Hart is 6-3 with 6 knockouts. He's been knocked out once, 2-1 in LFA. However, he's lost 2 straight. Before that, he won 4 straight. TKO loss in his last bout. 0-1 in Contender Series. Who did he lose to, Gumby?
Was it Benjamin Bennett?
Maybe. I don't have it in front of me.
Who I don't think got a UFC contract.
No, I don't.
It was like boring as hell.
Yeah. It must have been if Dana didn't give you a contract. It's gonna be correct. Let me see. How long ago was this fight? Where is
Not
it?
that long ago.
Oh, there it is. Yes, Benjamin Bennett. You are correct.
Cool. Right on.
All right.
He's the last dude.
What else? 6 years younger than Gonzalez, 5 inches of height on him.
I think Hart's going to be a big favorite. We'll say like 350 plus 325 on the return for Gonzalez. And I'm actually going to take a stab on Gonzalez here. No offense to Joey Hart. but like the book's kind of out on how he loses fights. And it's by like suffocating, wrestling, grinding up against the cage, not letting him strike from distance. And if you watch Gonzalez's recent fights, and granted, it's against a far lower level of competition than Joey Hart, but like that's the style he brings. He's like, very fast twitch. He's quick. He gets in on the takedowns well. He's got nice body locks. He has the ability to just hold you against the cage. And he fought for, do you know Ohio Combat League? Are you familiar with OCL?
No, I don't think so.
I used to do a little coverage for OCL back on an old website I used to work for. I used to have to take OCL clips and put them up on Instagram. But he was fighting an OCL against a guy named Melvin Harris, who kind of has a similar style to Joey Hart. He like wants to fight this like karate striking fight from the outside. And Gonzalez just like closed the distance and like forced him to be gritty. And again, like Joey Hart's a better version of that. But like, if you're telling me that I can get 3-1 odds on a guy who is the nightmare style in a proven problem for that prospect, and I think he's going to be a big favorite because he was a prospect very recently, I'm going to take the 3-1 on the nightmare matchup. Give me a Gonzalez.
All right. Gonzalez is the pick. We like to see some dogs here. All right. Before we dive into the rest of the card, let me tell you about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. You know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. Best part is no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport. They had all the college basketball lines. They got all the they got LFA, they got UFC, they got all the stuff you want. Plus, props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposits, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. And more importantly, they still have Kyle Filipkowski and Al Horford props up there. So head to mybookie.ag, use our code MMASGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. All right, moving right along to a 205 pound. Yep, light heavyweights. Alik, Lorenz, Starling, Simmons, U.S. versus Dominican Republic. We've had a couple of Dominicans on before, but not a country we get a heck of a lot of fighters from. Simmons, the Dominican, is 6-2 with 5 knockouts. He's been knocked out twice. He owes his rounds. This is his debut. Used to fight at 185, and that's all I got for him. Not a lot of info. Gumby, you'll have more for sure. Lorenz, we've talked about him before. He's 6-1. 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, so he owes his rounds as well. 4-0 in LFA. He's won 5 straight bouts. He has not lost since October 2021. He's 2 inches of height, has 2 inches of height over Simmons. He's a year younger.
Yeah, I think Lorenz, another big favorite here. We'll probably say maybe a little bit bigger than Hart, even because like the bubble hasn't burst on him as a prospect, kind of like it did on Hart. So like, I don't know, 375. We'll make it 25 higher. And you can get Simmons at plus 340 or something like that. And I'll take Lorenz. I had to look up Simmons. I wasn't familiar with him. From what I got out of the fights, he throws his right hook from his back pocket. It's just like a huge wind up.
Literally?
You can see it coming a mile away. Like he reaches way back and you're like, oh, here comes that right hand again. And like, he also likes to get in the clinch a lot and tries to mix it up in the clinch, probably because he's just like throwing haymakers and he's clashing into people when that happens. Yeah. And like the problem is twofold. Number one, Lorenz is not going to walk into one of those big shots. He's smarter than that. And number two, like all Lorenz really wants to do is grapple you. He's got like exceptional BJJ for a light heavyweight. Takes the back, rear naked chokes for days. And so like if he's going to wind up in the clinch, it's just going to give Lorenz more opportunities to get it where he's truly good, which is the ground game. And then on top of that too, like, I was kind of a hater on Lorenz earlier in his career. I was saying things like, it didn't seem like his striking game was all that good. And I still think it's probably got room to grow, but the undeniable thing about it is that there's power in it. Whether or not it looks really sharp or not all the time, like he has a real lot of power. And that power, I think, is a problem here for Simmons too, because he's been knocked out a few times. And when, your button gets touched a few times on the regional scene, even it's going to happen more often here. So I like Lorenz's power. I think he's definitely crisper on the feet than Simmons is, even if Simmons is like maybe more explosive. And then I think he'll get his grappling going at some point in time. So give me Alik Lorenz.
All right. Alik Lorenz is.
I think it's Alik. I think you were right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted him to be French suddenly, but
well, it's spelled weird.
Yeah.
What do his parents expect? Alik, but it's probably Alik. You're right. All right, co-main event. One of my favorite pitchers on
Guzzi!
is not Guzzi's pitcher. Is Billy Ray Valdez?
Billy Ray Valdez.
I've talked about that before. He's fighting against Alvin Hines. You may know him as Guzzi Hines. They're fighting at heavyweight, and they're in the co-main event here. Valdez is 4-1 with 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out one time, 2-1 LFA. He's won 2 straight. He went 1-0 in boxing. He's 3 years younger than Guzzi. Guzzi, one of the people from the aforementioned Bodega, is 6-0, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's 4-0 in LFA. He's won 3 straight fights via finish. He's got an inch of height over Valdez.
Yeah, Guzzi's going to be like -550, -600 here. I'm taking.
And you're taking him.
Yep. Yeah, this should be his path to a title shot against Denzel Freeman on LFA, or he should be in Contender Series after this.
Yeah.
And I actually thought Asplund was going to be the teammate who got to that first, because of his like, it's a unique story and a weird skill set and stuff like that. Guzzi has got like a much more traditional heavyweight skill set, or at least a much more traditional heavyweight skill set if it was 2013. I think he's like a classic 2013 heavyweight. And you remember when like all of the heavyweights in the UFC were like really exceptional wrestlers and top control guys?
Yeah.
He fits that bill, and like it's maybe a hole that's in MMA now is like there's not enough of that in the UFC, and there's not enough of that on the regional scene either. But his wrestling, it's so suffocating, it's so tough, and he's like really put a lot of work in to round out his hands. I actually think him and Asplund are the perfect teammates for each other, because like Asplund is this guy who, like, if he can put a pace on you and defend takedowns, he's going to beat you all the time, because no heavyweight can keep up with that pace. And then on the other side, like Alvin Hines, the guy who is going, he's going to murder you. So like now he can learn the striking game and the pace from Asplund, and Asplund can learn the wrestling defense from constantly working out with Guzzi. So, it's a perfect partnership, but also just like, I think Guzzi's stuff plays out better on the regional scene, because like being a heavyweight with suffocating top game against, a lot of heavyweights that don't have that like real solid defense. And like, no offense to Billy Ray Valdez, like he does want to just swing him and bang him. That's why he went and got a boxing match in between his MMA fights. He's slow as hell. He's not going to be anywhere near as fast as Guzzi is. And like these people are, these are the up and coming heavyweights on the American regional scene right now. These are guys you're going to see in Contender Series. Like I said, these two and Denzel Freeman are like the 3 heavyweights from the US I would love to see on Contender Series this fall or this summer or whenever it starts. But like, Guzzi's wrestling for days over Billy Ray Valdez. And, the number will probably be just so disgusting that it's barely playable, or it, adds 20 to the bottom of your parlay. But I think he's going to dominate.
All right. Very good. Let's get you a couple more ad reads, and then we'll get you main event picks and lightning round. They're talking about Underdog Fantasy, because it is time for Gumby's Underdog Pick'em. Underdog Pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. All right. Baseball still, Gumby?
No, I've said I'm doing MMA all this week.
Oh, right, MMA.
You should know by this by now. We're on
I know, I remember now.
I'm going to take the higher than on Mitch Raposo's takedowns. He's fighting Muderji. Muderji's been known to give up a takedown or two, and the projection on Mitch Raposo's takedowns right now is only 1.5. I think his wrestling game is better than that. Give me the higher than on Mitch Raposo's takedowns.
All right, so take that and take our code MMA-SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA-SGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they got models for NBA, golf. Picks so good it feels like cheating. Building your model is simple and easy. They got models for Kyle Filipkowski. They got models for Al Horford. Check them out there. And when you do sign up today, here's where you should go. You get a 7-day free trial if you head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're to our main event of the evening. And it would be 170 pound, as I knock over my lights. That would be welterweight bout, 170 pounds. Kegan Gennrich versus Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani, an American. Interesting name, though. He should be from France. I assume maybe his ancestors are. 3 5-minute rounds, because it's not for a belt or anything like that. And they don't do the 5 5-minute round thing the UFC does for main events. Lebosnoyani is Mufasa, 7-2, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 6-1 in the LFA. In the LFA, I added D there. He's won 2 straight and 5 of 6. He's regional champ. He's fed at 155. 1-1 as a pro grappler. 6 years younger than Gennrich. Gennrich is machine gun. 9-3, 1 knockout, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once. 5-2 in LFA. The former champion of the promotion. He's won 7 of 8, including his last fight. Regional champion. He's fed at 155. 2015 pro MMA debut. 3 inches height, 3 inches reach over Lebosnoyani.
Yeah, so this is going to be one of those fights where I mentally had one guy as the favorite.
Yeah.
The people in the know who I've been talking to have the other guy handedly as the favorite. So when I line this, I wrote down in my notebook Gennrich minus 175. And I heard from somebody who is in the know here, they're expecting Lebosnoyani to be posted at negative 200. If that's
73% on that, gentleman. Sorry,
yeah,
it drops 73%
on Tapology. Tapology has Lebosnoyani. Wow, and I don't understand it. So I'm all over Gennrich. If he is an underdog, I'm super on Gennrich here because so look, his striking is not going to look as pretty as Lebosnoyani. But also Lebosnoyani would rather grapple most of the time anyway. I know his striking is better, but he won't stop grappling. He's just going to shoot. And Gennrich has looked so good grappling. He fought Richie Miranda and just manhandled Richie Miranda on the mat. He wrestled Richie Lewis in his last fight. And granted, Richie Lewis is the highest level of wrestler you're going to get on the regional scene. And so Gennrich didn't wind up winning that, but he had his moments wrestling, which is just how good of a wrestler he is. He out-wrestled Jacoby Big Toe Jones. Remember we were talking about
of course.
Big Toe Jones. And that same Jacoby Big Toe Jones got all the dominant positions against Lebosnoyani because Noyani wants to do funky rubber guard stuff and dive for heel hooks and get silly. But Gennrich is just he's just the most standard Midwestern ass type of wrestler where he's going to grab body locks, do the right thing, let you be as silly as you want from the bottom, but he's going to defend it and then probably stick an elbow in your forehead Big Toe did to Lebosnoyani. So I think Gennrich's wrestling should play up heavily in here. And his striking game has not rounded itself out like we've wanted it to, but I still think this dude is kind of a prospect. You don't beat Richie Miranda and not have enough chops for me to talk about you being one of the better guys in this organization. So yeah, give me Kegan Gennrich, and my God, if I can get him as a dog, I will be very excited.
All right. We'll be excited along with you because everyone likes to tail Gumby. All right. Let's recap. Don't you go away, though. Gumby's got more plays for you. Gennrich, Hines, Lorenz, Gonzalez, Asplund. Should be a fun event. All right, Gumby, lightning round. Zap, bang, boom, pow. What you got for us?
So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Isaiah Gomez, who is the fighter who fights out of the bodega along with those guys. Because I think I messed up. I think I said Enya instead of Isaiah.
Yeah, Enya's a musician,
a singer, right? Yeah. So I think I messed that up. So I want to make sure I give him his proper props. I'm going with 2 grapplers here on the regional scene. Maybe you've noticed a trend in this, with the exception of Stephen Asplund. Pretty much everybody I took on here. I mean, it's a regional event in Minnesota. It's supposed to be wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take Santos Verdinez. Now, he's not a wrestler, but he's a 145er. Yep, 145er. Heel hooks, funky submissions. I think he has a Von Flue choke in there. He is just an electric level grappler. Really fun to watch. So I like him. And then I like Tanner Tremblay. Much more of the standard head and arm choke, rear naked choke kind of guy, with a big, strong dude for, again, 145, just gonna be too much for his opponent to deal with in terms of the grappling. He's only 2-0, and he's fighting an opponent with a lot more experience. So you might even be able to find a halfway reasonable line on him too. So Tanner Tremblay and Santos Verdinez.
All right. Check out the LFA and you can chat with us in the Discord about it at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. On YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast, make sure you subscribe and like stuff and comment and all that good stuff. At Twitter, SGPN MMA, he's going to be reeling. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Get into my Substack. A free subscription will get you a entry into my UFC Pick'em contest for this week. So that's moneymma.substack.com. Gummy's got Top Turtle MMA podcast. Tell the people who is on your lovely show this week.
So we're talking to Josh Reddinghouse, who is fighting in the PFL Bantamweight tournament. And then we're also talking to Julian Arosa, who's fighting in Miami at UFC 314 against Darren Elkins.
The gentleman I gifted my Juicy J nickname to. I gave it back to him. Julian.
That was when we started stealing nicknicknames.
I think it was. I think you may have started it. You're right. Yeah. So thank you for that that gimmick for our show, Mr. Juicy J. Of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com is the place to go for all your sports gambling needs. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store for all your sports gambling merch. Try Madness at checkout. Maybe get 20% off. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get bonus content. And when you sign up for mybookie.ag and or preferably both Underdog Fantasy, the code is MMASGPN. That'll get you something special and us as well. All right, I think it's my turn to say goodbye. So I shall say goodbye. Tomorrow, we shall cover a very good UFC card because it is a pay-per-view. It'll be Killswitch, Jeff Fox, Goozy, Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.